Hey guys, hope you all crispy and crunchy. My name is CerealMaty and welcome back to DDLC Plus. Welcome to the second part of the Truth side story, which is the one between Monika and Sayori. Before we continue the story, I wanted to show you something real quick, which is this pictures menu. You might have heard of it. Now you can see it as well. It exists. Yes, the legends are true. We can unlock a bunch of different wallpapers, poems, CGs and stuff. But what has really caught my eye is down here. What are these secrets? I have no idea. Because, we got the CGs as an extra topic. We got the poems, we got backgrounds, backgrounds are down here, by the way. We got wallpapers. But what are the secrets? Maybe they're so secret that we'll only find out if we play till the end of the game. Could imagine that. But I am really curious about finding out what these are. Also, the sketches look... I haven't unlocked any. But I think it's pretty cool to put in sketches as well. So, yeah. And promo. I have no idea what that is either. So, yeah. Again, very curious to find out what that is all about. Now let's continue the side stories. Again, we're at... the truth side story, so the one between Monika and Sayori. I said at the beginning of the video. Let's go! Alright, another day passes in a flash, and it's already time for the next club meeting. Although Monika should have come up with a plan for today's club tasks, she hasn't been able to shake her guilt and anxiety after reading Sayori's poem. I'm so stupid. How did I let myself be the center of attention? Sayori's going through these kinds of feelings, and I'm letting her comfort me instead of the other way around. What kind of club president does that? This whole time, I didn't think to ask about her own feelings. So much for the stupid vision. Sayori enters the club room with her usual smile. I kind of forgot what the last poem was about. Must have been something deeper. Was it the flower poem? I must become... No, that was the first one I saw. Oh god, I can't remember. Fuck. Sayori enters the club room, yeah. But upon seeing the downcast Monika, her smile quickly fades into an expression of concern. Monika? Is everything okay? I'm really sorry. I'm such a terrible friend. Huh? What are you talking about? You're an amazing friend. Monika shakes her head. I made this all about myself. Even you said so yesterday. You told me that I'm trying to make the club that I need the most, right? But my problems are so trivial compared to yours. Sayori responds quietly. What are you talking about? But as she says that, her face darkens. Through the silence, Sayori mutters her realization. I left my folder here. Monika stares blankly ahead, unable to come up with a response. I wasn't ready to share those. Now you're worrying about me, and I don't want that. But why? We're friends, right? Wordlessly, Sayori nods. Friends look out for each other. I want to be here with you as much as you're here for me. Not with you, for you. Sorry. Another moment passes in silence. The air is incredibly heavy. This is different. It wasn't just about you yesterday. It was about the club. Besides, things were so happy yesterday. You don't need to do all of this all of a sudden. I don't want it. I like happy. So, if you do this, then you're just being selfish. Monika massages her forehead, struggling through the frustration of such a paradox. It's understandable that Sayori isn't ready to share certain things. But, as unfair as it is for Monika to pry, it's also painful for Monika to force herself to ignore the needs of her friend. I'm sorry I looked. I disrespected your privacy. Now, I don't blame you for looking. I would have at least needed to check if it was mine. Yeah. Monika takes a deep breath. Okay. I understand you don't want me to worry. And I think I'll be able to put this aside so that we can move on. But can you promise me something? Promise you what? Monika pauses to collect her thoughts. This is the literature club. It's a place where people can express themselves in the ways that life normally doesn't allow them to. That's the vision. In fact, it's our vision. Right the way into your heart, or whatever. So, I just want you to promise that you'll remember that too. Promise me that you'll remember that too. It doesn't have to be right now, but I want to be here for you when you need it. I want us to be ourselves like that. Sayori smiles gently. I'll promise if you promise. Unable to help it, Monika returns Sayori's smile. I promise. Me too. As the conversation closes, the mood in the room is lifted. Enough of that heavy air. Let's get the party started. Sorry. Just a little gulp of water, because my throat is kind of dry. Maybe because of recording from yesterday, and I wasn't warmed up. I was so out of practice. That's what I wanted to say. Yeah, nice and smooth now. With that behind them, it's time to proceed with the club activities. So, want to teach me about poetry? Huh? But what about recruitment? It's fine. We have plenty of time for that. But right now, I feel like I want to do this. I mean, I do have to fulfill my end of the promise, you know? There's no way I could say no to that. Just don't expect much. I do a lot of writing, but it's not like I'm a scholar or anything. That's fine. I think I just need, like, some motivation. I never know where to start when it comes to writing poems. Starting isn't so hard. You just need to write down your feelings and see where it takes you. Yeah, but that wouldn't come out any good. It's not supposed to. You're gonna have to fight your perfectionist mind on this one. You can't just start by writing your feelings and see what kinds of things it makes you think of. And then you can turn your feelings into a little story. You can get your feelings down first and then make it sound pretty later. Way too loud again. Better. It's not like building a railroad where you go from one end to another. It's more like a college where you find all the things you want to put in and then arrange them in a pretty way. At least that's how I do it. It's not like it's the only way, but it's a really good way to not get stuck right at the beginning. I understand. Interesting that Siori teaches Monika how to write. I mean, she's not an expert too, but it's pretty interesting because in the main game, Monika seems so confident about her writing. Even though she says she's pretty bad at it and she has to sound confident. But still, interesting how the whole thing developed. I understand. Yeah, I always get so caught up, and it sounds that I forget about what's actually important. Monika pulls out a pen and paper and to start writing on. Stop being a perfectionist, you idiot. Okay, negative self-talk is psychologically not that much of an advantage, I think. I'm just kidding. Okay, good. Monika scribbles out, you idiot, after she writes it down. Now, keep it. What? Why? Are you calling me an idiot? Of course not. But the point is, you're not supposed to police your feelings, right? Police. Police! Oh my god. Call the police on me, please. The pronunciation police. Be as dramatic as you want. But I was just... Well, yeah. Underneath the scribble, Monika rewrites, you idiot. She stares at the paper. Her words stare back at her. It's kind of funny how I wrote down what I'm mad at myself for, and then I did the exact thing anyway. This is really gonna take some getting used to. Take some time getting used to? I don't know. I believe in you. Thanks, I do too. Me, I mean. But also you, of course. Monika continues to exercise, jotting down her thoughts. It's surprisingly quiet, quite a struggle to write without overthinking it. But after a while, I gotta sneeze. Oh, I think the demons that possessed me came out of my nose right now. Sorry. Whew! That was a relief. But after a while, with Sayori's guidance and encouragement, Monika's sheet of paper begins to look fairly lively, peppered with all her random thoughts. Phew. Monika looks up and down at her sheet. Gosh, I feel so tense looking at this. I hate it. But it's also kind of liberating. I can tell how hard you're trying. It makes me happy. I think you'll be good at writing poems. Don't give me too much credit. I'd have to try really, really hard at it. But I think it's something that I'll enjoy doing. With you. Oh, Sayori beams. The classic line. Another thing I'm wondering about is Monika self-aware right now? Does she know she's in a game? Does she play along? Does she pretend she doesn't know and actually she knows? Or is this completely different story? I mean, they actually said that the side stories are completely independent of the main story, but it's still interesting because Monika is that character, that fourth wall breaking character, and I think it's kind of it's part of her personality, and I don't know if she still has that in her, or if she has it in her yet, because this plays before actual DDLC. All right, I'll stop here, but we still have time. Wrong voice. Let's try to work on a new flyer for the club. I won't be so picky about the language. Yay, let's do it! Monika and Sayori proceed with their work. With each passing day, the two of them become more confident in the club. Not simply from their recruitment planning, but from their vision as well. As their bond strengthens, so does the essence of the club. Finally, they begin to truly feel it's only a matter of time before they find more members. True. Another day passes. As usual, Monika is the first one to the clubroom. With her is print out of the revised literature club flyer, complete with all the new ideas Monika and Sayori came up with. If only this was the flyer we gave to that one reading girl the other day. It's so much more attractive than the old one. But the new catchphrase is featured clearly in the center of the flyer. Right the way into your heart. Surely, common sense would say that one writes from the heart, not into the heart. But the message being delivered is that one can use writing to discover themselves. Hopefully, Monika and Sayori had thought, that it would be enough to garner some curiosity from students. Why do I feel so tense looking at this? Monika thinks back to the previous meeting when she performed the writing exercise. Was I always this bad at expressing myself? How am I supposed to be president if I can't even demonstrate what the club is supposed to be about? The literature club is truly beginning to take form. But with that, the weight on Monika's shoulders only becomes heavier. Debate club was always about rigid structure, formulating airtight points and counterpoints and delivering them with conviction. It was about the person on the outside. That's why Monika was so good at it. It existed entirely within her realm of comfort. It's suffocating. I need to break through this mental wall. I need to learn to express myself. For real. Monika pulls out a sheet of paper and grabs her pen. She presses the tip of the pen firmly against the paper. But her hand doesn't move. Instead, a tiny blot of ink collects around the tip of her pen. Monika lifts her pen and stares at the little blotch. For some reason, she feels compelled to run her finger across it. As she does so, the black ink smears across the paper, ruining Monika's canvas. Out of spite for herself, Monika presses her pen down once again, letting the ink collect. Very interesting. That's where the line, the ink flows down into a dark puddle, came from. She creates a second smear on the paper. Come on, Monika. Just move your hand. Right away into your heart. Monika writes. Nice. This is what I get for seeking perfection. A stain. Nice short poem, actually. Like, really. It doesn't scroll down anymore, no. But seeing that Monika being actually the president and the girl everyone looks up to and the one out of reach, being so self-conscious and being so low on self-esteem. It feels like she's wearing some kind of mask when she's out at school and stuff, that covers what she's really like inside. Like, everybody thinks she's so beautiful, everybody thinks she's so confident in what she's doing, she's so athletic and stuff, and she got her things together, when really she's just as insecure and as vulnerable as everybody else, if not even more. And I think that's what many people can relate to. Like, expressing yourself and what you really feel like is a pretty hard thing to do. It takes a lot of trust between you and the recipient to actually share what's covering, what's been covered by that mask the entire time, what's actually inside of you. And to take that step, to cross that threshold, I think it's a pretty hard one. I mean, I'm getting too deep into stuff, but that's something that's on my mind a lot as well. Like, when can I share stuff? When will people actually care? When will they listen? When will they take it seriously and not make fun of it or something like that? It's too personal stuff. Sorry. Let's keep going. Monika slides the paper away from her and puts her head down on the desk. The air conditioner seems louder today. I'm here. Oh, whoa! Hi. Monika hears Sayori approach her desk, then stop for a second, probably reading the piece of paper. Then she sits down at the adjacent desk. Bad day? Mm-hmm. Me too. Oh. You too? The new flyer looks so good. You've been working so hard. On the club, but also something else, I think. I can't do it. I'm sorry. It's so hard to just be vulnerable. See? That's exactly what I meant. Mm-hmm. So Yuri takes a sheet of paper from Monika's desk. She writes something down, then stares at it for a while. Can I trust you? Of course. You can trust me with anything. Sayori gazes at Monika with sadness in her eyes. Understanding the signal, Monika takes the paper from Sayori's desk and reads it. Oh no. I had a feeling we would get to this point at some point. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no, that's when Monika learned about Sayori's suicidal thoughts. Oh god. Oh. And later on in DDLC, Monika completely used it for her own advantage to get to MC. But oh no. Oh god. Sayori. This is really, really hard for me. Her voice shakes. So, if I can do it, then you can too. Because you're like a million times better than me. That's completely not true. Siori takes a deep breath, trying to steady herself. That's something about me that I've never told anyone before. Even now, my head is like screaming at me to stop. Wait, you don't have to force yourself. I mean, just because of the promise yesterday. I want to. It just feels right. I mean, maybe it's part of the reason I came to this club in the first place. This is the literature club. I trust you, more than I'm scared. And those words, Monika stands up. At those words, Monika stands up. Sayori must have taken days to work up the courage for this. Were Monika's own futile, but genuine, efforts actually the push that Sayori needed? Sayori's deliberate breaths can be heard over the air conditioner. As she prepares herself to continue, Monika waits in gentle silence. I have this problem where I get really upset when people worry too much about me. I can't control it. It's like, why waste your energy worrying about me when you can just be happy instead? So, I'll never tell anyone about these kinds of thoughts that I have. Oh, God, I'm sorry. Must be allergic to something. It's so much easier to just smile and help everyone else be happy. But that's terrible. That's what Monika wants to say, but she stops herself in fear of saying the wrong thing. It's just that if everyone knew about it, they wouldn't treat me the same anymore. That is actually true. Like, if you would come out and say, hey, guys, I am depressed, I have thought about ending it there, everyone would be like pity you to some degree, or like, oh no, we take care of you, and they won't see you as they won't see you the way they saw you before. I haven't been there myself, and I'm so thankful for it, but I think I can comprehend how this must feel like, at least to the people you really care about and you really love. You would hate, probably, again, I'm not speaking out of experience or something, you probably hate for them to turn into someone else just because you tell them that you have these kinds of problems. You just want them to be how they were ever since, and the other way around too. I shouldn't talk too much about that stuff. Maybe after we finish this. Let's just keep going. Like, whenever I'm not smiling, everyone would worry about me and ask me what's wrong. I know that, because it used to be like that. Sayori pauses, seeming to recall something in the past. I just want everyone to be happy. That's the most important thing to me. And letting people look inside my head doesn't bring happiness to anyone. I mean, that's altruistic of her, but maybe a bit too altruistic. That's a complicated word. She should take care of herself too, and not only put other people above her every single time. Sayori pauses again, her solemn expression making her look almost like an entirely different person. How did you find the courage to tell me this? You're not worried that I'll be one of those people too? I am worried. Part of me really hates myself for doing this. But another part of me, I think, just felt like it would be different this time. Whenever we talk about what the club is supposed to mean, I kept feeling like it was right for me to do. Sorry, it was some clipping sound. Especially after you've been trying so hard to express yourself too. It just made me feel like I could say it in confidence, and our friendship doesn't have to change. It's so silly. The club is only 2 people, but it already means this much to me. Monika feels a tightening sensation in her heart. A feeling of connection as Sayori's emotion radiate between them. Me too. I was so lost until you showed up. You're so brave, Sayori. You're so strong and brave. I don't even compare. Monika steps forward. But if nothing else, I can at least offer you some hug energy. If you like. Wordlessly and without a smile, Sayori rests her forehead on Monika's shoulder. Through their contact, Monika can almost feel the torrent of thoughts swimming in Sayori's head. And in this moment, enchanted by the air of the club, Monika realizes that all of the days that have passed, this is the one where she really, really hopes that nobody new walks through the door. She speaks softly. You're like the sweetest girl I've ever met. You can say anything. I'll never judge you. I promise. Sayori's breath begins to quiver. What is that? Sorry. She takes several deep breaths, trying as hard as she can to stop speaking, to say the things she never once dared to say out loud. Finally, she speaks in a choked voice. I'm so worthless. I'm worthless, and everyone would be better off without me. She suppresses a sob as a tear falls down her cheek. I'm just an inconvenience to everyone. I'm not good at anything, and it just feels like everyone just has to put up with me, and I hate it. I hate it. The more Sayori speaks, the more she fails to control her voice, falling victim to the overwhelming sadness clutching at her throat and chest. I don't want to have these thoughts. I don't want them to go away. And now I'm making it. You put up with me, and I just want to die. As soon as Sayori loses her composure, Monika becomes determined to keep her own. She only wants to be what Sayori needs right now. So, she won't let any sadness show. Her voice comes through as soft and gentle. This isn't putting up with you. This is just being your friend. Monika offers a few words of comfort. But she knows, Sayori said it herself, that the thoughts Sayori experiences are ones that don't belong. And Monika can magically make them go away. The most she can do is help Sayori battle them, like any good friend would do. You have so much value. To me, and your other friends too. This club wouldn't have been the same without you. I really, really mean that. You coming here was the best thing that could have happened. Even if you never got any other members, I would still be happy. That's what you brought here. That's what you brought here. You brought us a vision, and also brought happiness. And that's your favorite thing to do, right? Sayori doesn't respond, but Monika feels her gently nod. No more words are needed between them. No. Oh. I'm so close to shedding a tear. Oh my god. Woo. The two share their embrace for a while longer, Monika letting Sayori take as much time as she needs. Once her breathing steadies and her sniffles fully cease, Sayori lifts her head and wipes her eyes. I guess I needed that. Some days are harder than others. Well, I'm here whenever you need me. But any other time, I'll make sure that things are the way they usually are. If that's what makes you happy, that's what makes me happy. Sorry, I didn't read that. You're the best. No, you are. The two exchange smiles. You know, I'm sorry to bring this up all of a sudden, but have you considered talking to a professional? Sayori nods. It's scary, since it's already so hard to tell people. Yeah, well, of course it will always be your choice, but if you're ever looking to find the courage for it, I can do my best to help you. Thanks. I think it helps knowing that you would. Sayori suddenly yawns and stretches. Wow, that made me tired. And hungry. Well, I won't make you do any work today if you're not up for it. No, I want to. I mean, I can say that it's definitely one thing that makes me happy. Monika smiles. But I might want to get a snack first. All of a sudden, the sound of the door causes the two of them to turn their heads. The door opens halfway, then stops. A face peeks inside. A face that seems familiar. Little cliffhanger there. Oh, man. That was an emotional roller coaster. It's just fascinating how DDLC went from being that psychological horror game to now actually addressing mental illnesses and that people do suffer from them. I mean, at times like these, we know more than ever that people do have to deal with mental issues and other problems that need to be talked about. But, I mean, I kind of anticipated the story to go down that road, but still, that last 10 minutes, God, they hit me hard, and I need to kind of digest that for a bit now. it kind of crushes my heart to know that this is what Monika exploited in the original DDLC. That she knows Sayori is super fragile, and she took advantage of that to, you know, get MC away from Sayori and make herself the main character, literally. Yeah, I don't know. Again, emotional roller coaster, but I think that's enough for this side story. That one is done. There are four. It's five, not four. I don't know what four should mean. There are five more side stories to go, so a lot of content. You can look forward to that. I really do. I have to unlock them first, so I have to play a bit of the original DDLC, but I'll do that in my spare time, so you can just experience the side stories. And my camera just went out of battery. So I have to say goodbye with you without you seeing me. So I'll see you all in the next video. Bye.